John Liu is a friend to the Armenian people. He's been a good friend of mine for about 15 years, and he's been a very good friend to the Armenian community ever since. He goes to the New York Armenian home each year on April 24th. He's handed out proclamations to all the survivors, and it's a very touching and very warm moment that he very sincerely believes in what the Armenians went through in the genocide. And each year he's at Times Square, and some of the most passionate and compassionate speeches are made by John, and they come from the heart as much as he feels about the Armenian community. I think what's important is the Armenians have a friend in John Liu, and I think this is our opportunity to build our friendship with John Liu and see him go further, and I believe he will be the next mayor of New York City. I'm very confident of that, and I believe it's a great opportunity for the Armenians to rally around the next mayor of New York City.
The Honorable New York City Comptroller John Liu, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hrant Gulyan. I am the chairman of the Times Square Armenian Genocide Commemoration Committee Chair. Tonight, on behalf of all of you, I'd like to thank Andreas Rubian. When he heard that we were trying to raise some funds for our New York City Comptroller, he immediately said yes. He provided this beautiful house. He's paying for all the food, all the drinks. As usual, this is the typical Armenian hospitality, and we're very grateful, Andreas, to you and Preya. Preya probably did most of the cooking, so we're very grateful to you as well. Chuck Apelian happens to be a longtime friend of New York City Comptroller John Liu. We know him, his days when he was member of the New York City Council. He was helpful for the Armenians at that time, and he's been continuing his help to our community, and we're very grateful. And this is a very small way of our saying to John, thank you for all your efforts. Chuck is the member of the Queens Community Board 7. He's been very active in Queens, and he's one of the leaders of the Armenian community in Queens area. Without any further ado, I want to introduce Chuck so he can introduce our Honorable Comptroller John Liu. Chuck Apelian.
I say this many times with John. I was very fortunate. John is my neighbor, as many of you know. He lives directly across from me. But he became my friend. But beyond that, he became my council member. And now he's my controller, and he will be our next mayor of the city of New York. To work with John in the government process through policy because he represented us in the district. And in my role in the planning board, a lot of projects we worked on together. And the beauty of what the relationship was how we got things done. And John is a man of consensus. He's a man of understanding and having people express their views, building consensus, and then moving forward to get things done. And we got a lot of things done for our neighbors and for our community. And the New York Armenian Home is a prime example. The New York Armenian Home is located in his Flushing community, in his council district. Every year, John would come to the home on April 24th, and he was there with the residents and with the survivors. And John understood from the heart what it means and what it meant to these people for what they went through and to be able to survive. And he took time out from his schedule each year to make proclamations and hand out to the residents and to spend time and to honor their time. And John always came to Times Square. As you've been there and you've seen some of the most passionate, some of the most compassionate speeches came from my friend John Liu, because again, he believed it came from the heart of what he meant and what he said when he stood there each year for the Armenian cause. We are fortunate. We have an opportunity here, and I think everybody recognizes this. We have an opportunity because we have an introduction and a friendship that we had with someone that believes in good government, good causes, and good things for good people, and also understands what the Armenian people are about, what our causes are about, and what our needs are about. And he's understanding to that, and we have an empathetic ear with that. And I'm going to stop right now by saying I would like to introduce my friend, our friend, the next mayor of the city of New York, John Liu.
Chuck, I want to thank you for that heartfelt introduction. Chuck has been a longtime friend, and obviously he needs no notes in making introductions. So thank you so much, Chuck. And thank you, Hiram Gulian, for not only for putting this together, but your leadership in the community all throughout the New York region. He is a strong and steadfast supporter and outspoken voice for the Armenian community, I would say Armenian community worldwide. So thank you, Hiram, for your great work. And I want to thank Andreas Rubian for his extreme generosity and hospitality. I can't believe this could be somebody's home. I feel like I'm in a museum, but this is truly a great place, and I thank you for really your kind-hearted spirit. Thank you very much, Andrea. Chuck and I go back a long way. As he mentioned, we live directly across the street from each other, and because we're on a cul-de-sac, so we're really like the closest neighbors, not just across the street from each other. I've been in there for 18 years. I think he got there about 15 years before I did, and we really cherish the neighborhood in Flushing, Queens that we live in. It's a place that I live 8 blocks away from where I lived when I was 5 years old. People in Flushing often say that their council member just didn't get very far in life. 8 blocks altogether. But nonetheless, these last several years have been extraordinary years for me. When I was growing up in New York, in Flushing, I never dreamed that someone like me could run for office. I'm not born in New York. I'm an immigrant, born in Taiwan. My neck still has a label that says "Made in Taiwan" right here. But to be able to come here with my family and pursue the opportunities and the American dream itself, it's been quite a ride. And growing up in Flushing, watching my parents work so hard as the generations of Armenians, whether they be immigrants or many generational Americans, it's the hard work that we all cherish and that we all have in common. And in a city like New York, New York is a place of opportunity. It's a place of opportunity if people are given the ability to carry out their own ambition. And in New York City, I think in recent years, things probably are not heading in the right direction that I believe. And I do believe that the city needs a change in the direction. A change where entrepreneurial spirit is rewarded, a change where there is a level playing field so everybody has an equal opportunity. And that's my vision of New York City. It's and if I had things my way, as Chuck mentioned, that we're actually only 21 months away from the next New York City municipal election. If I had things my way, there will be big changes, not only at City Hall, but the tone of the city itself. As Comptroller, it has been my job to make sure that every part of New York City government is functioning as efficiently and as effectively as possible. And I'm going to continue to do that, but also, with your help, prepare for the next step. And I think we're in a very, very strong position. At the end of the day, though, no matter what all of this is about, and I have a very high perch in city government, and in my unbiased opinion, the greatest city in the world, New York. No offense to anybody who's not from New York City, but I think we could do much more. And in the coming months, you'll hear much more about it, but it is this early support that all of you are giving me that means much, much more. It's that early support that counts the most. So I want to say I'm going to work very hard, as I always have. I actually believe that this is a privilege to serve in public office. It is not a right or any kind of thing that could be taken for granted. I take it very seriously. I'm going to work to change the tone of the city in a way that allows everybody to even further achieve the American dream. The American dream that, for example, the survivors who I've met many times at the Armenian home on 45th Avenue in Flushing, it's their spirit. You could see what they have been through their whole lives and why they're here and why their children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, and in some cases great-great-grandchildren are here. They're all here to pursue that opportunity, but we have to make sure that they are allowed to do so. So I thank